Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Ooh.
Oh, we're keeping Malcolm awake, but welcome back to the 31st installment of Unfinished Business with your boy, Jacob Murchison, and the ever so illustrious three-time Brock Intramural MVP in hockey, the beard and stash combination. Just waking up, it's Malcolm Govius. How are we, sir? Tired?
Great. Just took a nice nap. I'm rejuvenated, replenished, feel quite nice.
Replenished.
Had a nice long week of being in the sun, especially today. Played a match. I haven't played against my brother like a match for a long time, like a long time. Played today, hour and a half. Showed him who's boss. No big deal. First set was too close to my liking, kind of choked it, almost like the Blue Jackets last night. And then
We'll get to that. Don't you worry.
we'll get to that in the second set. I just took care of business. So it was a nice game, but it was always nice to play against him. How was your week?
So you told your brother who the daddy is, eh?
I didn't
Who's
say
your
that.
daddy,
Didn't,
Matty D?
didn't
Who's
say
your
that.
daddy? Pedro Martinez looking full. Well, my week was fantastic because this week marked the return of the Champions League, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Friday and today were the remaining second legs of the round of 16. And City versus Real Madrid. Manchester City came out the victor, beating Real Madrid 4-2 on aggregates. They're moving on to the quarterfinals. Gareth Bale, the Welsh superstar, was left off the starting 11 against Manchester City. Zinedine Zidane, Madrid manager, said he preferred not to play. He wasn't say it was COVID related or what,
Ooh.
but they are playing with 5 substitutions, and to leave a perennial superstar that everybody pretty much knows, if you don't even know soccer, you know Gareth Bale's name is. To leave him off the squad is very weird, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Zidane doesn't really has it in for Gareth Bale, so maybe he'll find a new home somewhere else. But he's getting a lot of money to be there. Lyon, French side, move on to the quarterfinals after winning on aggregate 2-2 via their away goal differential over Italian superstars in Juventus. Cristiano Ronaldo, some would say I look like him, scored Juventus's only 2 goals. But Lyon will be moving on to the quarterfinals. Immediately after the match, the morning after, Juventus fired their head coach Maurizio Sarri. Very shocking move because
Yeah.
they're like Serie A champs every year. But they've already hired a new manager already, I would say about an hour ago. Club legend, Italian superstar back in the day, Andrea Pirlo, '06 World Cup champion.
Wow.
Got some sick flow. And he's probably scored one of the nastiest penalty kicks in all of football. Look it up on YouTube. Oh. But Pirlo has managed Juventus' under-23 squad prior, so he's got some familiarity with some of the people on the team. Obviously, you have Paulo Dybala, who is at our age and is already a superstar. So I'm sure he's got to familiarize himself with a couple of the young kids on the team. Barcelona will be moving on to the quarterfinals after winning 4-2 in aggregate against Italian side Napoli. Great pizza. They were down 1-0 before the second leg, and, Lionel Messi, can't count him out. He scored an absolutely fantastic goal, dribbled his way through 3 defenders and just sniped it. Always been a fan of Lionel Messi because left footers have to stick together. So they will be moving on. And Bayern Munich absolutely humiliates the Chelsea 7-1 on aggregate to advance. Wasn't even close. No Christian Pulisic for the Blues. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. He might miss part of next season as well. So, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final will all be played in Lisbon, Portugal, in a bubble. So, really, every
Nice.
league is in a bubble right now, except
Except for
baseball.
baseball. That's just sad.
As well, there will only be one leg game, so there really isn't a chance for fuck-ups. It's going to be like one and done, no second leg the next day, so it's going to be great. Probably more penalty kicks than what we normally get to see, so definitely big fans of that. For quarterfinal matchups, your first one is kind of a snooze fest, but not some big names. You have Italian side Atalanta versus should be the Champions League winners this year in Paris Saint-Germain. If anyone doesn't know Atalanta, their stars Alejandro Gomez is an Argentine international. Is going to be scoring some big goals for Atalanta. Already has. But PSG has got some superstars on this team. Neymar, Kylian Mbappe if he plays. Brazilian Marquinhos on the back end with Thiago Silva, Mauro Icardi, Marco Verratti, Paulo Sarabia, and Di Maria, Julian Draxler, Lightning Kurzawa, and Keylor Navas at the back end. It's just star-studded. They should dominate. No questions asked. It should be a bloodbath. Quarterfinal number 2 is you got the German side, RB Leipzig, against Spanish side, Atletico Madrid. Leipzig will not be playing with Timo Werner as he's already left for Chelsea. Kind of a dick move, but getting paid for it. But as well, they have Emil Forsberg, Marcel Sabitzer, and Deja Chensul Apamecano. What a mouthful. Atletico got some stars. If you don't know soccer, you probably know a couple of these names as well. Angel Correa, Coque, Thomas Partey, absolute stud. Thomas Lemar, French player, Alvaro Morata, Douglas Costa, Kieran Trippier, and João Felix, the lure of Portugal right now. He's going to be taking over for Ronaldo pretty quickly. And probably the best keeper in football in Jan Oblak. So it's going to be really close. Quarterfinal number 3. Everyone's going to get this one marked. It's big. Barcelona versus Bayern Munich, baby. And to anybody who doesn't really familiarize themselves with positions, there's going to be a one-on-one matchup that everybody around the world is going to be looking for. It's going to be Lionel Messi versus Alphonso Davies. Oh, boy. Right winger and Messi.
It is exciting to watch.
Left back in Davies. See who comes out the victor. Are you fucked? Like, there's going to be a big test for him. And quarterfinal number 4, it's Manchester City versus Lyon. That's going to be another great matchup. Kevin De Bruyne for Man City, Memphis Depay for Lyon. See who'll come out the victors. Can't wait for that. They start next week. Chelsea legend Willian has agreed to a 3-year deal with London rivals Arsenal, kind of an end of an era. Willian's been known there for almost 10 years in the blue. Dealers, this is crazy. Like, soccer contracts are ridiculous. Deal is worth $132,000 a week.
I hate that.
The Gunners are also in advanced talks with Brazilian midfielder Phil Coutinho. He has been with Bayern Munich the last couple of seasons on loan from Barcelona, so maybe he makes a return back to the Premier League where he started with in Liverpool. Manchester City legend David Silva has agreed to a move to Italian side Lazio. Again, another end of an era. David Silva's been there for such a long time as well.
Yeah.
City as well signed 20-year-old right-wing sensation Ferran Torres from Spanish side Valencia for a reported $32 million. It's kind of like maybe this is the end of an era for Raheem Sterling. You know, he's not that up there in age, but maybe they need a new scenery. 20-year-old sensation might come up and steal some of his minutes. Inter Milan have announced they have permanently signed Manchester United winger Alexis Sanchez. He's been on loan to the Italian side for the last 2 years, so Antonio Conte is going to have him locked up. Reports surfaced Tuesday that Cristiano Ronaldo, the best player in the world, don't at me, wanted to join PSG if not for the coronavirus pandemic. Could you imagine?
Wow.
But they did get Mauro Icardi, the striker, but it would be Ronaldo in the middle or Mbappe, and then Ronaldo and Mbappe on one side and then Neymar on the other. Sportsgasm!
That's true sportsgasm right there.
Man. Canadian striker, the lesser-known best Canadian player in the world, Jonathan David, will be joining Italian side Lille from Belgian side Ghent for a €30 million transfer fee. Mark my words, everybody in Canada is going to know just name Jonathan David in the next 2 years because he is going to be an absolute stud. Just no one knows it because he plays for Ghent in the Belgian league because they don't get much exposure. But in Serie A and Italia, he's going to get some big playing time. Manchester United are in serious negotiations for Dortmund winger Jadon Sancho. It seems like every podcast we bring up Jadon Sancho on Manchester United. But apparently, Sancho reportedly agreed. This is, again, crazy money. And he's our age, 19, 20 years old. He has agreed to a $325,000 per week contract for the next 5 years. United would be paying Dortmund a $100 million transfer fee. Seems fairly reasonable, but Wednesday, Dortmund said that there has been no contact for Sancho, and they expect him to stay for next season. The plot thickens. But I'm sure there'll be more Jadon Sancho talk next week. And as well, the last note for soccer, because everyone's been dying to know, the Premier League has rejected the idea for 5 substitutions for next season. I love this.
Jay loves it. The integrity of the game.
The integrity going. And I'm sure they're going to be able to cope with whatever they have to do with because I think they'll have more time to figure out scheduling and playing player fitness and not worry or risk the injury bug.
Yeah, there's actually so much news on other sports than we talked about, even though with all the major sports being back, like for soccer, there's a lot going on. We'll get into more NCAA football and whatnot. There's a lot of news, so hearing a lot from soccer. obviously I took a nap, so I didn't even know about Pirlo being the coach for Juventus, and that's pretty huge. Like that shocked me
Fucking
just
man
then.
rocket as well. He's right
Yeah,
up there.
he's up there right for you. Jeez, but we're gonna go along to one of the major sports in hockey in the NHL, and this week there are a few playing series. I think almost all of them have been completed except for one. I will name
We'll
this.
get into real quick. Don't you fucking worry.
Yeah, we will. So, a few of the playing series scores that happened this week. The Hurricanes beat the Rangers. They swept them. The only sweep this in the first round in the qualifiers. The rest of them, except for one, were all 4 game series with the teams winning 3-1. So we'll name them off. The Habs beat the Pens 3-1.
Yay.
Blackhawks beat the Oilers. The Coyotes beat the Preds. The Calgary Flames beat the Winnipeg Jets. The New York Islanders beat the Florida Panthers. The Vancouver Canucks beat the Minnesota Wild, and the Toronto Maple Leafs and Blue Jackets are tied at 2-2 with their game
Mm.
five, the only game five being tomorrow. Other than we'll get into the Leafs, we'll talk
Don't
about
you?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you worry,
What
Leafs
are your
fans.
favorite? What are your favorite series that happened so far that are
I think it's
completed?
only fair to go through all of them, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like Hurricanes versus Rangers. I think the coming out party for Sebastian Aho and
Yeah.
Andrei
And
Svechnikov
Sheshnikov.
because they stole the fucking show.
They really played well, and they got what was it?
No Dougie
Didn't
Hamilton as well for the whole 3 games for Carolina, but that like Jake Slavin you have in the back end. No Brett Pesci either. That's two huge,
huge
huge
players, huge
players.
defensemen.
But just it's crazy. Like their
But
decor is
Sheshnikov
so
with his
solid.
hat trick, Like first ever. I don't. This is like kind of where it gets iffy. And my dad kind of like was bugging me about it. He's like, this first round isn't the playoffs. This is the qualifiers.
But they're
So
counting it towards playoff stats.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like you,
The
like
same
it's.
intensity.
I know that's what I said, and he's like, no, well, it's not the actual playoffs because the qualifiers have to go in. But you
Well,
couldn't. It's in the middle, so you can't call it the regular season
they
stats.
had game best of 5 series in the 80s.
I know, yeah, exactly. But no, he's just saying because it's called the Stanley Cup qualifiers that it's not like the next round is the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So there's gonna be some loose terms, but I agree that it's the same
As
intensity.
well.
So
Like their goaltending was solid. Like I think it was a
yes,
question mark for Carolina coming in, but Mrazek and Reimer held the fort down back-to-back nights, and see Reimer come out real solid, made that fantastic stick stave in Game 3.
yeah,
Oh, Leafs
and
fans, I bet love that one a lot.
a lot
I'll
of
let you have the throne here for your Canadians.
the Canadians. What can I say about Canadians other than the young guy
Carey
showed
Price is
up?
all you can say about the
Yeah,
Canadians. Nothing
Carey
else.
Carey Price and the young guy showed up to play. Arturi Lehkonen, Nick
I was
Suzuki,
gonna say Nick Suzuki was kind of a star of that series.
Jesperi Kotkaniemi. After game one, Nick Suzuki started seeing the most minutes as a forward on a play. I can't go without talking about Jeff Petrie, just a snipe show. This guy just knows how to pick his spot.
I can't not laugh.
So slept on. This guy in the league played for the Oilers before he came over to the Habs. But he's obviously, and then you have Tatar. Tatar obviously, but Brendan Gallagher had 19 shots this series. No goals, but he generated a lot of offense. So I think not enough credit for how intense he played. But then again, like you said, Carey Price, straight up just a god, played on his head. Just kept the guys in the series. He stole every single game, even the game they lost. He stole that game, and we just couldn't find a way to score until later with Kotkaniemi in that game. But every other game, he stole it, and that's what needed to happen. Who knows who they're going to play next? Probably Tampa
Well, we
or
do. It's either
Florida.
Tampa or Philly.
Yeah, Tampa or Florida because of the seeding. But yeah, oh, it was quite the series. One series, another series. So that was an upset, right? The
Upset.
same seeded Blackhawks, 12th seed on the other side in the West, beat the Oilers, and I just think that Edmonton is wasting wasting McDavid and Puljujarvi, not Puljujarvi. Why am I saying Puljujarvi? Draisaitl's skill and talent because they should have at least made the first round and then be more competitive in the actual playoffs. But they couldn't even get other qualifiers, which a lot of people want to see them. When you have the two top point getters in the league on the same team, and you can't make it past the qualifying round against the 12 seeded Blackhawks, there's something wrong within the system. You can't blame it on those guys, but that I don't know. That just really bugged me that the Oilers didn't even put up a game 5 fight.
I actually predicted the Blackhawks winning in 4. Thank you very much.
Yes, I know you did.
But you can't like the team on the Blackhawks said you can't count them out. Like it's a series. It's a 5-game series. Like they have some great players and they know how to win.
Yeah.
Patty
Kubalik.
Kane, Johnny Tays, Kubalik coming out party for him. You have Dylan Strome. You have DeBrincat, Alex Nylander, Adam Bogfist on the back end,
Boy
Duncan Keith.
Crawford played great.
I just think it proves like if you're rotating goalies, I think it says a lot about your confidence in the back end. Like you saw that with Pittsburgh rotating Matt Murray, Tristan Jarry.
Yeah.
You saw that with the Oil, Nico Koskinen and Mike Smith. I don't think that does not send the right message towards your team if you're doing that. Like you don't believe in the first guy that you come out there. Like I know, like shake it up, make it a fresh mind. I don't believe in that because I think you don't believe in your number one goalie who's gotten you to where you are right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised the Blackhawks won. I'm not surprised. Very veteran, 3-time Stanley Cup champion core. They know how to win.
Yeah. It was just like the Pens were 3-time Cup champions, but it's the other way around. The underdog took them out. The Coyotes.
Hey, hold on. Wait a minute. When they were 3-time Stanley Cup champions, who else was on that goaltending side?
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it wasn't no Tristan Jarry. But the Coyotes beat the Preds. That was a big one, but I predicted the Preds, but I wasn't going to count those Coyotes out because they were a good team. And with Taylor Hall, Phil Kessel, and Ekman Larson, and Darcy Kemper was playing good. So the team themselves, they played great. Like there's a lot of teams where you don't think were going to put up as much of a fight as they did. And seeing all these series go 4 games was kind of a shocker to me. I thought you'd see a few more game 5s. Like everyone predicted if the Habs win, they're only going to win in 5. Like, or this team, like if Coyotes win, they're only winning 5. But Coyotes won in 4. They pulled out, so they'll be going out to the first round. The Flames versus the Jets. I predicted for the Flames to make it, but I wanted the Jets to make it. Obviously, the Jets game 1 lose Mark Scheifele and Patrick Laine.
And Mason Appleton, by the way.
And Mason Appleton. So they lost a few key players on that team. The Flames, they're just loaded on offense too. Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, Matthew Tkachuk.
But they can have question marks in the back end too in goaltending. But Cam Talbot played very well for them.
Yep, Cam Talbot did.
And they stuck
really
with him. They never switched back, which is very key. Like they believe in Talbot.
Yeah,
and not big save Dave right now.
Yeah, and David Rick has played good in the past, but keeping Talbot was a big move for the Flames and a big confidence booster, I'd say, for Cam Talbot. Maybe he'll play really well in the next round.
Hey, the last time the Oilers made a run with Cam Talbot was in net.
Yeah, that's very true. So who knows? And the Islanders, New York Islanders, beat the Panthers. I think a lot of people almost predicted this one. With them moving on, the Ottawa Senators get another first-round pick from the J.G. Pajot trade. So the Ottawa Senators will have 3 first-round picks thanks to the Islanders moving on and winning over the Panthers. So that was another good series. The Canucks, another good Canadian team, winning against the Wild, obviously. They win 3-1. Their young team as
Quinn
well.
Hughes, man.
Yeah,
absolute stud.
Horvat, Brock Besser, those guys playing very good hockey. Jacob Markstrom playing well as well. And then we'll get into the game last night. I'll let you take over for this game. You take over. I want you to explain it as a Leafs fan.
So if we can paint the picture, just take 10 seconds just to visualize just what happened. Yeah. 3-0 down. 3:40. About 4 minutes left in the game. Score 1. I kid you not. Go over to my buddies. I smell a comeback. And they're like, no way. Absolutely not. You're full of shit. No. Kid you not. I smell a comeback. 30 seconds later, Matthews Tavares snipe show. Jacobs may be right. He may be onto something. 30 seconds remain in the game. Everybody in that building thought Matthews was shooting that puck. But no. The silky pass, cross ice, Zach Hyman on the ice, 3-3.
Before you get to overtime, before that third goal, were you not kind of shitting your bricks when Nylander was playing in the back end there
Not to mention Morgan Riley saved the goal with that block, first
with
of
that
all.
block? Yeah,
And
but
then Pierre-Luc Dubois putting it in the
the
plastic of
side,
the net.
yeah,
And I said, it's probably a bad omen for Columbus. And it fucking was.
and yeah, but Nylander was just like he was just behind his own net doing a dipsy doodle, skating up, and even me, I was watching this game, I was like, what the hell is Nylander doing? He's just
It was
skating up the
typical
puck by
Leafs.
himself.
It's typical
Yeah,
Leafs.
but it ended up in a good goal for Hyman. So, and then what happened next?
And then Nick Foley, that was a penalty for
Yes,
anybody. That
yeah,
was a penalty.
it was. He got a
Slipped
stick
the foot
right
underneath.
underneath. Yeah.
10 seconds into the penalty, Riley to Tavares, one-timer to Matthews, and we have a
Top
game
cheddar.
5 tomorrow night. Oh, and everyone was down on them. Oh, we blow 3-0 lead.
Okay, okay. As a Leafs fan,
And
then
now we just did it in 3 minutes and 44 seconds rather
okay.
than 2 periods.
Going into tomorrow, are you
Shitting my pants?
shitting your
Absolutely.
pants, or are you confident you're shitting your
Yeah,
pants?
you're shitting your pants at game 7, game 5, deciding game of the series. You're shitting your pants anyway.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I believe in the guys we have. Like Freddie Anderson has been stone cold. He's been unreal.
Do you not think Tortorella said, "I will kill every single one of you if we don't go win this game 5
Probably,
to the
man. Like
Blue
seriously, it
Jackets"?
kind of pisses me off how pissed off he is after losing a game. It's gonna happen. Like you can't
I
sweep everybody.
I would be I would be pissed off too. You're up 3-0 with 4 minutes
And you
left.
know
You
what?
choke it.
Before I can't believe you didn't mention this either. I gained so much respect for Jason Spezza last night.
Oh yeah.
So much respect. How could you
are so
down
lucky to
2-0
have him.
and he drops the mitts? He's already got the long end of the chain anyway, playing fourth line. He should have a much better role anyway. But he's not a fighter, and he threw some fucking strong ones at that kid last night, even though he's not a big fighter as well. But to see the boys get fired up after Jason Spezza of all people fighting. Like Kyle, you have guys in there to do big things. Like Kyle Clifford should be stepping up there and doing that stuff, but he's
Yeah.
not. 36 years. You don't think Jason Spezza wants to run at the cup?
He really
36
does.
years old and he's doing
You should
that.
have seen how hyped he was on the bench when Hyman scored. If you didn't see that,
You don't think I saw that?
Yeah, you saw that.
You don't think?
He was hyped up. So they did it for Spezza, bro. Like this guy really wants to run at the cup. He's deserved it. He's had some close chances with Ottawa back in the good old days, but the Leafs maybe they make.
But you know what? This has been the best series ever. Leafs fan aside, this has been the best series of them all. Like you had a tight game 1. It's 1-0. Like we'll give up the empty netter. Freddie Anderson's not there. 1-0. The next game, it's 2-0, 2-0, and then it's 3-0 with the empty netter. So you have 2 solid games from both goalies. And then game 3, the Leafs blow the 3-0 lead. Game 4, the Jackets blow a 3-0 lead. What else do you want in a series?
So are you saying that both teams kind of suck and this series really sucks? That's what I'm getting from it, that they can't hold on to a lead. So maybe that's what I'm pulling from it. But yeah, we tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, to watch Game 5 of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Boys will be buzzing.
It's going to be a good one. Some more hockey news. The second phase of the draft lottery is set for Monday because that will be the last day after, obviously, the Leafs and Blue Jackets play their final game for one of the eliminated teams out of the play-in series to win the number 1 overall pick and potentially draft Alexis Lafreniere unless they don't trade their pick. But
interesting note, being a Leafs fan, I'm going to list up the top of my head. But due to the Patrick Marleau trade, the Leafs gave away the first-round pick this year, obviously. But if the pick lands inside the top 10, they will get to keep the pick. So 9 and 10 are up for grabs as well as number 1 overall. So if they land in any of those 3, the Leafs keep the first-round pick, and then it will be transferred to next year. That Carolina will get their first-round pick.
Yeah. So the teams
if they lose, they might get a stud defenseman. How are you?
The teams that get a chance at number 1 are the New York Rangers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Edmonton Oilers.
NHL is going to find a way to get Lafreniere to the Penguins or the Oilers. The NHL will find a way.
The Nashville Predators, the Winnipeg Jets, the Florida Panthers, the Minnesota Wild, which I highly doubt they'll go there, and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
So you're already saying the Leafs are winning Game 5? You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Malcolm Govius,
I think
the Habs fan, is rooting for the Leafs.
I'm not rooting, but that's what I think is going to happen. I forgot that they didn't finish almost. But Some more news out of the round robins. The round robins for the top four seedings. The Bruins cannot mathematically get the number one seed. Obviously, you have to go 0-2 in round robin games. Vegas and Colorado, they play today, so Vegas won it in OT thanks to Alex Tuck.
Tucks it in.
Yeah, 35 saves for Robin Leonard after switching.
Robin Leonard, not Marc-Andre Fleury. Robin Leonard.
Well, they've been rotating that in the round robin game, so he's undefeated.
It's a big game, though.
Yeah,
you wouldn't think you had your number one in that
so far. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning and Philadelphia Flyers right now are playing right now for the last game for number one seed. So with Vegas winning, they get number one seed, and Colorado gets number two. And then Tampa and Flyers, we'll see who will get the number one seed there. Jay puts in here, is this part of the return to play plan broken? I don't think so, because you see, like today, you have two teams competing in their last game for that number one spot. If you wanna, if for the Bruins, like if you want to be able to compete, just win some games. Don't go 0-2, man.
Like they dominated the regular season.
Why can they dominate the round robin?
You can lose 2 straight games in the middle of a season and bounce back, no problem. And like it's just so shitty.
They will.
Like they're gonna have, they might. I don't know if they're 3 or 4, but they're gonna have a tough game. Like they're gonna have to play either the Islanders, or they're gonna have to play the Hurricanes.
And Hurricanes.
They'll rematch the conference final.
I would love to see the Hurricanes play the Bruins in the first round.
I don't know if Boston deserves that fate. We're moving to the association now, basketball. U.S. President Donald Trump says that kneeling for the national anthem is, quote, disgraceful. I don't know if he's got the memo or not, but this is not a political movement, Donald.
Human rights.
Exactly.
Human rights.
LeBron says no one cares about Trump not watching. I know he wasn't watching either, so I mean, I'm not going to cry about it either. Sixers guard / forward / center, really, Ben Simmons, is out indefinitely due to a dislocated left knee. So my question is, does this signify the end of any chances the Sixers had to make a deep playoff run in the playoffs this year?
Yes, and I hate them with a passion. So,
but Al Horford.
Well, Al Horford, love him. He's my man crush. But they have Joel Embiid and everyone. Blah blah blah. Ben Simmons is the most talented player on that team. As much as you hate to say it, as like someone who hates the Sixers, Ben Simmons is a talent on that team, and with him being out, their chances really do diminish a lot. So yeah, I don't see them making a deep playoff run this year now.
Yeah, they'll get bumped in the first round.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst locker room in the league too. It's so pissy.
Toxic.
That's a better word. It's a better word.
Toxic.
Luka Doncic becomes the youngest player in NBA history to record a 30-point, 20-rebound, 10-assist game. He should be getting MVP votes. He really should.
I think so. He
really
too.
should.
He's disgusting at the game.
The guy who's been taking over, besides T.J. Warren of the Indiana Pacers, absolutely lighting it up in the bubble right now, is Devin Booker, hitting a buzzer beater against the Clippers over Paul George, no less.
And Kawhi Leonard. Over both of them.
Unbelievable. Is he the most underrated scorer in the association?
Yes, he is. 100% he is. I can't believe how underrated this kid. Even when he put up 70 against those Celtics, but he still lost that game like a couple of years ago. I think it was Draymond Green coming out and saying today as well, saying Devin needs to get out of Phoenix because it's bad for his career. And obviously, when you have an all-star like that on the team, it's good.
He wasn't even an all-star this year. He was
snubbed.
And then got voted in after.
But I'm saying he plays such a high-caliber game. Him being on that team is the only reason the Suns are even being talked about. So I think they need to keep him unless he decides to move on. But they need to find a way to keep him.
They're getting some recognition right now because they're the only undefeated team right now in the bubble at 4-0.
Yeah.
After this year's Celtics beat the Raptors handily last night. But back to D-Book. He was ranked 31st by ESPN in their top 100. You know the people that were ranked higher, or lower, I guess, than Devin Booker? Fred VanVleet, Domantas Sabonis, and Jaylen Brown.
Don't get us wrong. Those guys are good, but Devin Booker is better than them.
He could be all NBA.
Yeah,
first, second, or third team. He really could.
100. He should be.
Young Grizzlies star Jared Jackson Jr. suffers a torn meniscus and now will miss the remainder of the season. Do you think the Grizzlies make it in as the eighth seed?
I hope so. I want to see them
Man,
make it in
I have a real issue with the schedule, like how they did the
the
schedule for the
schedule.
bubble, because it's kind of stacked against the Grizzlies right now. Their remaining 4 games are teams above a 500 record. You know what
Damn.
the Pelicans' remaining 4 games are?
What are they?
Teams with a subpar 500 record.
All
So
of
it's
them.
all a
Oh,
little scheme to get
to
this
get
guy named
Zion.
Zion in the playoffs.
Yeah, and when you have maybe, in my opinion, the rookie of the year is John Morant uh, on that team, he should be in the playoffs because he's grinded his ass off to get where Memphis is today for the playoffs. But yeah, they're like Zion. Zion's gonna be the face of the league for a long time, so I guess they want him in the first year that he's in into the playoffs.
Portland as well is making a pretty good run at this 8th seed, although today Dame Lillard choked big time, missing 2 free throws to win the game for the Blazers. But they'll be back at it. I'm sure they have another chance. They're only one game or half game behind for 8th seed right now.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a great finish to see who gets the 8th seed. Financial concerns for the upcoming seasons making Jerry Reinsdorf the ever so popular man in The Last Dance, making him keep their head coach for the Bulls and Jim Boylan employed for next season. Bulls are a dumpster fire, man. I
yeah.
don't
What to
know.
say? Like they don't know how to do anything right, honestly.
Oh. But to our neighbors to the west in Los Angeles, the Lakers have clinched the #1 seed in the West, and the Milwaukee Bucks have clinched the #1 overall seed in the East. So those two have locked up. Your Celtics kind of disgraced the Raptors last night, so that hindered them to clinch the 2 seed. I think it'll be inevitable that they'll get it because the Celtics are 3. So 0 positive tests for the 3rd straight week in the bubble. MLB, it works.
Oh Lord.
NBA and its player association pledged $30 million a year for 10 years to a foundation dedicated to creating economic empowerment in the Black community. Big up the NBA and its player association for stepping up big time.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant making his prediction for the finals. He's got the Clip Show, LA Clippers, against Milwaukee, and has PG and Kawhi coming out the victors in the finals. Dwight Howard has come out and said that he thinks it's going to be Lakers-Raptors in the finals.
Wow. Well, Dwight Howard's always gonna say Lakers because he's on the Lakers.
Well, I
But
mean, a lot of people would say the Lakers.
yeah, well, I think when you look at the Lakers in the bubble, they're not able to play well. Like look at the past few games where they've lost. I don't know.
It's meaningless games. It's
I
hard to,
guess
I
it's
think
kind
it's
of
very hard to
meaningless.
motivate yourself. Like you see round robin
Yeah,
games in Shell right now. I can barely watch them. It's just not entertaining. Like they're just dogging it, just trying to get the timing down, but there's no intensity.
yeah. So we'll probably see more intensity once the actual playoffs start. So
August 17th, mark the calendars.
for the NBA, yeah, August 17th. So
The NBA as well may delay next season to allow for fans. If you want fans in maybe 2023, good job.
yeah,
Americans don't. Oh, so I just read this now. Malcolm, very blunt when he says Americans don't deserve to go to sports games.
they don't.
Elaborate, please.
With how they've dealt with the coronavirus and how they have not been listening to like all the regulations that the rest of the world, where every other country has, you get to go to sports games if you listen and destroy all the look how many cases you guys have. You have over I don't even know at this point. 1 second.
Tens of thousands.
No, tens of thousands. Coronavirus world, don't worry. I'm gonna get the stats for you right here.
Yeah, just I think this is like we live in the
We're
great province of Ontario, where for the past 6 days, coronavirus cases have been less than 100 in the province.
in the province. And today, you Americans have new cases today. You have 54,000 new ones and close to 1,000 new deaths today. So you think you deserve to go to games? No, fuck you. You have 5.1 million total cases, and you're #1 in the world. You guys think you deserve to go to sports games? No, you don't. You don't deserve anything. Stay in your house. Stay home if you're sick. Wear a mask. People being anti-maskers, even in Ottawa, I see it here. Like obviously, there's people who are like, "Ooh, maskers." Like there's people who come up to me at the court and be like, "Oh, this coronavirus is just a hoax," and then causes some heated argument sometimes, and I have to kind of keep my cool. So
Malcolm keeping us cool.
yeah,
What?
yeah, I know, but yeah, man, I don't know. You guys, They're talking about bringing sports fans back.
Like Canada has like
You don't
less than
deserve it.
500 cases a day for the country.
Yeah, you guys have 60,000 a day, a day of tens of thousands a day. Get Donald Trump out of there. Looks like Biden might be winning that one. He's up in the polls right now, so hopefully
We're
something
not a political
changes.
podcast, thank the Lord.
Just saying, but hopefully something changes there, so you guys might have a chance to go. But dumb Americans, man, just listen
I
to
don't even
what
want to go. Like if we were
I
allowed, I want
wouldn't
to go.
go. I wouldn't go. Are you kidding me? I don't trust anything. Oh my gosh! Like I would love to go see a lot of sports events, but you Americans are making it hard because you suck so much. There's a lot of good ones out there, but a lot of ones who just don't like to listen and who are very arrogant. And there's arrogant people everywhere, but mostly in the United States of America, in my opinion. Might lose a few viewers there from that, right? About Americans, but who's listening at this point?
And we're just sounding it off. No filter, unfinished business. Let's go. Like you got the America's pastime in baseball, but you talked so nicely about them.
Yeah, baseball just still doesn't know how to create a bubble. So the Cardinals and the Cubs series this weekend is postponed due to COVID-19. The Cards in the current outbreak in baseball.
The
So
only current outbreak in baseball.
yeah, they had 13. So Yadier Molina was among the 13 Cardinals to test positive for the virus.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame for sure, but 13 of like the baseball players. You wonder why they're getting COVID? Because they don't have a bubble.
Man, I would love to add, like, you know how Miami was missing half their players, right? For Corona.
Yeah,
They have the best record in baseball right now.
I
At
was about to
7-1.
say that.
Like,
They're
what
number
the
one.
fuck?
They're number
Like,
one
are
in
you kidding?
baseball due to Corona right now.
That's not a good message. Like,
No,
baseballs are just stacked. Like, oh,
if you see
like,
that,
half our team can get COVID, but we can only lose one game. What the hell?
just cancel that season. Yohan Soto has made his season debut. Personally, you know more about this. I don't know. Was it good?
Juan Soto,
Yeah.
he's like the best hit, like the best bat they have in that Washington lineup.
Yeah.
So it's a huge plus to have him now.
But
So maybe they can get back to well, subpar, but maybe they can get back to their winning ways because they have not had the season they want to be started off right now. So hopefully Juan Soto can keep it rolling for the Nats, the defending World Series champions.
Yeah, hopefully. Aaron Judge is on Fuego. That's fire for those of you who don't know that. The Yankee slugger becomes the second player in Yankees history to hit 7 homers in 10 games. So
Unbelievable.
Letting it up. Big boy Judge.
All the players that they had come through that system in New York.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a beast. MLB has updated their COVID protocols. Woo, I want to see what these are. Restaurants and malls are banned. Masks are now mandatory on sidelines. Wow. Does this prove how broken the system is? Yes.
This should have been in the protocol first off.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's kind of selfish if you have people just going out and doing everything willy-nilly. Like, I believe it was the Cardinals that this outbreak came out because they went to a strip joint and caught it.
Oh my god.
Just for some chicken wings. I'm kidding.
Just for some
Probably
chicken wings. But
Man.
man, these guys just don't know how to control themselves. MLB, the bubble works. Hopefully, we'll get into the NFL soon too. But hopefully, the NFL uses a bubble as well, because if not, their seasons can look just like the MLB season right now. The Angels' Shohei Ohtani will be shut down for pitching for the season, according to Joe Madden. Ohtani has a forearm strain, no COVID. That's good news, at least. Just a forearm strain. But can he be labeled as a bust?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, he was brought in to be the modern day Babe Ruth.
Really?
He can hit and he can pitch. And I don't think he's had a full season where he's pitched the full season, because he always seems to have some arm issue, and he's designated to be the DH for the rest of the season. So everybody right now is just waiting to see what Shohei Ohtani can bring. So I think he's labeled as a bust until he proves to somebody that he can pitch a full season.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait to see Ohtani pitch, because he's got some disgustingly filthy stuff.
Very nice.
Get on to the pigskin in the NFL. Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians says that Ronald Jones is still the team's primary running back, even the shining of defending Super Bowl champion LaShawn McCoy. Are you surprised?
No. Even with Kansas City, LaShawn McCoy wasn't that number one guy, and Temp brings him in. I think to just add another.
Mm,
Was he? Was he? If Damian Williams there, I feel like who is used more,
I would
but
say it's close to 50-50.
maybe yeah. But
Because he
Ronald,
had some big fantasy days,
he
Shady
did.
McCoy.
Yeah, but I think it's been bringing in another veteran presence for the Buccaneers, even though they brought in few pretty good veterans, I would say, and Tom Brady and Robert
Modest.
Gronkowski. Yeah, so
Be like
I
Hall of
think
Famers.
I'm not that surprised that Ronald Jones is still the primary running back.
Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Hollywood Brown has put on 23 extra pounds this offseason, going from a modest 157 to 180 pounds. Watch out for this. Let's be very curious to see what his speed's like now, getting an extra 23 LBBs, I think. No, I think I fucked that up big
OBS.
time. No, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not the good at acronyms. Okay, what do you want? Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker is facing 4 counts of robbery with a firearm, while Seahawks cornerback Quinton Dunbar will not be prosecuted. I guess those two got caught in a wrong situation.
Yeah.
If convicted, Baker could spend a minimum of 10 years in prison and up to life in prison. We just finished talking about the NFC East in fantasy with DeAndre Baker having a subpar season last year, but I won't be shocked if they release this guy.
No, I don't think you'll be shocked. Why do you have to go and uh like be part of a robbery? You're an NFL player. You're making a lot of money. So unless I don't know, there's something like
Hey man, Plaxico Burress shot himself in the foot, so I mean, like, come on.
some like unless you're going for some like Pink Panther diamond or something. I don't know what you're going for.
Hey, hamburger. What is it? Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Man alive. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford is off the COVID-19 list after receiving 3 negative tests
Good
after having
news.
a false positive.
See, and you've been seeing there's actually been a lot of cases where people are getting false positives, so they're encouraging people to go take multiple tests. Not even just athletes. Just if you feel like you have COVID and you do get tested positive, get tested again because it could
Well, I
be
think it's
negative.
great. Like, Canada's, I think, so far ahead of the game. We have the app now.
Yeah, and not a lot of people have the app, but I have the app.
I have the app.
I 100% have that. So when you get tested positive, put in the app, notifies anyone who's been around you who's had
For
their
15
Bluetooth on.
minutes. That's been around you for less than 6 feet for 15 minutes. It's great.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think I'm around anybody for 15 minutes except for my family. So, I mean,
Same here. So it's not a big deal.
Jaguars cornerback Gardner Minshew is back at practice after being on the COVID-19 list as well. So nice to see him back and fully functioning.
Yeah.
Dolphins wide receiver Allen Hurns is opting out of the season. The opt-out is now coming past, so get ready to set up your fantasy lineups, baby, because they're set.
Oh,
Gotta watch out for injuries.
I'll tell you this now. I got a call from the commish today and his buddy.
And this is the most broken league I've ever been a part of. If I was commissioner, I don't know.
No, but he said the loser will have to get a tattoo, and the tattoo should be of the Super Bowl logo for this year, just to remind yourself that's the year you lost fantasy football.
No.
So, gonna get a nice ass tat.
Maybe a water tattoo. That's about it. I'm not putting ink on my body. Absolutely not.
No ink on my body.
Broncos linebacker Von Miller has contemplated opting out of the season. Obviously, if you remember, Von Miller had coronavirus back when it was a worldwide pandemic and everyone was freaked the fuck out over this.
Still shouldn't be playing anymore.
I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Von Miller opted out, but he's not. So good on you. So hopefully he can stay safe and not catch it again. Could you imagine? Seahawks are eyeing pass rushers Clay Matthews and Everson Griffin, probably to replace Jadeveon Clowney, who is still a free agent.
Yeah, and Clay Matthews and Everson Griffin, imagine that on the Seahawks lineup after you get Jamal Adams as well. Oh, wow, that team's going to be pretty nasty this year.
The GOAT had a birthday this week, Tom Brady turning 43. Defying odds, saying how great he's been playing over the age of 40, and he's still playing I believe he said he wants to play till he's 45. Do you think he's going to get there?
I thought I was older than that, but yeah, I think he'll get to 45. He's still playing. Look who he has to throw to this year. He's gonna have a good season. Like he's not gonna have a wishy-washy season. He can't have. If you have a bad season with this team, oh
Retire.
no, yeah, retire. You can't do anything more. But a lot of people saying he's gonna break that 2007 record, Tom Brady, and throw for maybe more than 55 touchdowns.
Good luck.
I don't see that happening.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, you have the Bills, Josh Allen, and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, working on having a throwing contest. That will be interesting. Who do you have as the victor?
Patty Mahomes.
Nope, Josh Allen, baby.
I know Josh Allen is a
Bills
big candidate.
Mafia
I think Patty
got it
Mahomes
in the bag.
can throw this ball deep. So who knows? We'll see though. It'll be a good contest. It'll be fun to watch if they do like televise it somewhere on YouTube or something.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Dolphins running back Matt Breida is claiming to be the fastest player in the NFL. This is after running 22.3 miles per hour on his 83-yard touchdown last season. Do you agree with the Dolphins tailback?
I don't.
Who do you claim to be the fastest player in the NFL?
Tyreek Hill.
Thank you.
Come on, I don't think it's even close.
With an IG handle of Cheetah, I
Cheetah.
think he's pretty quick.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. He gets the IG handle Cheetah, no one else. He's pretty fast.
We're sticking with the opt-outs for this season. We have a total of 67 players who have decided not to play.
I think it changed to 69, actually.
Oh, isn't that kinky? 69 players to opt out this season.
Nice, very nice.
And the only 3 teams that have any player that is not opting out is the LA Chargers, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Love to see it. They love it.
EA Scabs, baby. Christian McCaffrey is feeling the pressure of being a number 1 fantasy pick. This is coming after he said that he would pick himself.
Yeah.
The number 1 overall pick in fantasy.
That
kind of made me curious, saying, like, do NFL players have their own fantasy leagues?
I think they do. I think a few of them do. But some of them don't really care for it.
I want to be in Dan Belzerian's fantasy league, man. Where it's like a $10,000 buy-in.
Jeez, man.
Like Terrell Owens is in it. I think Juju's in it.
Juju's in that one?
Is in it. Yeah.
No
it's a whole
way.
bunch.
That's pretty nasty.
Can you imagine the pot if you win that?
Man, try having that money first to put in.
Lastly, we got for the NFL, Washington running back. I'm going to catch my breath saying that team name from now on. Washington running back Darius Geis has been arrested and subsequently cut from the team due to a domestic abuse charge.
This comes right after we did our.
I know.
Right after our Fantasy Friday for the NFC East, like hours later, this happens.
Isn't that amazing? So what does this now mean for the running back locker room in Washington?
Well, what do you think? We talked
Bryce
about
Love, baby.
Yeah,
Bryce Love. You just heard me hype him up on Friday. He's going to be there, and he is going to turn some heads. I am so pumped. I might buy his jersey. Maybe when they get a name.
So
Maybe when they have a name first.
You're going to have to see him now. You might have to buy his jersey, but he's probably going to
so excited.
This year,
not excited how he's getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Bryce Love, baby.
This is coming from the guys who are supposed to be pretty good this year, but obviously cut from the team. And now you have Adrian Peterson out of the backfield, who's obviously a future Hall of Famer. But I think he's not going to be used on every single down. So Bryce Love will get time to
Love, baby.
Yeah, but sticking to more football, NCAA football, quite a bit of news, like I said earlier, coming out of NCAA. So the Big Ten announces their schedule. They have a 10-game conference-only season. The kickoff is early September 5th, and they're designed for maximum flexibility. I don't like the idea of them playing, just like some other leagues that we'll get into have canceled their season, but they come up with their schedule. Over 1,000 Big Ten players make demands for the conference to improve the return plan. So obviously you see the players, they want to play, but they want to make sure their safety as well. So you see a few big-name players opting out. The Big Ten and Big East considering a bubble for their seasons, which would mean even NCAA football has a bubble over baseball. How would this work with putting school in the mix?
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, I guess teachers are going to have to be, or professors, would have to be put in the bubble.
would it just be all online?
What a
Like
headache,
like
man.
in
What
Ontario,
a
like
headache.
we're going back to school. Everything's online.
Well,
For me,
not if you're in elementary or high school.
well, you're not
But
no,
like,
but
I
this
know
is
these guys are in university, so
yeah.
yeah,
So that's what I'm
I know.
saying. They
Yeah,
go
I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like, I
goes
guess
for
they have
some async classes.
big
Jay,
flex.
Jay doesn't have a lot of those. Um, a group of Pac-12 football players said they will not practice or play until their concerns about playing during the pandemic and other racial and economic issues in college sports are addressed. So there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed for in the NCAA for a lot of players all over in football, probably even basketball and other sports to be addressed because not only is there a pandemic going on, but there's a human rights movement, huge human rights movement going on. 2020 is going to go down in the history books.
Exactly. I was gonna say, but that Leafs game last night was the best 5 minutes of 2020. The
The best
best
what?
5 minutes.
Best 5 minutes for Leaf fans, at least. Yeah, sure. UConn becomes the first football team to cancel their season. So the first FBS team to cancel their season due to an unacceptable risk of their players, obviously of getting COVID. Colorado State is actually accused of hiding COVID cases. So coaches allegedly telling players not to report COVID-19 systems. What are you gaining from telling your players to do
You- You're just you
this?
end up with a whole team with COVID.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided to do that. See, and like I said, I think I mentioned this in another podcast. If not, if you go down to like Miami, Florida, you can buy a fake negative COVID test. And the U.S., they're just not handling this great. This is why you guys don't deserve to go to sports games. I hate your country. Um, I hate the idea of playing national anthems. I was talking to my girlfriend, like we were watching the Habs game, right? And then anthems were being played before, and she was even like, "That's kind of like outdated, right? Like playing the national anthem before
Okay.
games."
I think it's the most hype thing ever.
I don't.
Like if you're there, like I get chills listening to it on TV. I get chills
I
because
don't get. I don't
no,
get you. I sit through it and I'm
because
like,
when they're
"Oh my
playing
god,
the
what
national
game is
anthem,
this?"
it kind of like you go into the zone. Like, hey,
But can,
I'm
but
I am so proud to be part of this country, and a whole lot of countries can't say that. And to see it
for
reminds you of
Canada, sure,
who's
sure.
protecting our country and keeping us safe and letting us have the freedoms that we have. So I think
To
it's more than
go
the national
defend
anthem.
oil. Yes. Yes, they get to go defend oil and be oil security guards. But no, you look at the NHL. Most of their players aren't even like a lot of the players aren't Canadian or American. They're Russian, they're Slovakian, they're Swiss, they're Finnish, they're
They need to keep
Swedish.
the national anthem played.
Pardon?
The national anthem is untouchable.
I don't think it's untouchable. I think at some point it should be abolished and you just play your game. Just stop being a little
No,
fucking
like if you're,
hard, like
I don't know if
rock hard
Montreal
for
does
your
this,
anthems.
but in Toronto, you have the Canadian flag going in the stands
Yeah, yeah,
with the
yeah.
national
We have that
anthem.
in Ottawa and everything.
It's awesome. Like that's my screensaver on my laptop right now. Is I said that Leaf game in Ottawa, and it's the Canadian flag,
People are rock hard for anthems. I don't understand it.
and that's oh look at me.
I don't know. Well, I guess we have some different opinions here. We'll clash heads on
I
this
guess
for
you
a
just hate
while.
Canadians, hate the
No hate
military.
Canadians. Love being part of Canada. Love the military, but
All
playing
right,
the
Don
anthem is
Cherry.
outdated. So you people. Oh, we're gonna get canceled. Maryland's head coach Michael Locksley forms national coalition to identify and groom coaches of color, male and female. So obviously, with the human rights movement going on, we're gonna see a lot of this, but it's good for the game and good for every single sport and for male and females for gender equality as well. Because you're gonna see a lot of females coming in and stepping into these big positions for sports, and I just love to see that. Penn State, they've come out and said we'll have no fans for this season. Penn State linebacker Micah Parsons opts out of the season to prepare for the
He's gonna be
draft.
a top 10 pick, Micah
Yeah,
Parsons.
he is. So that's another big opt out, not NFL, but the NCAA football. 8 UCLA players test positive for COVID, so obviously still not doing their part in America. I'll keep mentioning that. The MAC MAC cancels their football season, plans to play all their fall sports in spring. So you look to see that cancel the football season. Hopefully, like it's better next
Yeah, like
year,
big
but who
schools
knows?
in the MAC conference. Obviously, Miami, Ohio, if anybody knows that. Ben Roethlisberger school. Ohio University's in the MAC conference, so you have some good Kent State in the MAC conference, so some good FBS teams that are going to
Yeah,
have to be playing this year.
and potential probably number one overall pick for next year's draft. Trevor Lawrence says he's 100% committed to playing possible final year at Clemson. I think you just gotta suck it up, buddy. You might not play, but you
Yeah,
might because Americans are so
trying
crazy.
not to be a homer here because go Buckeyes, Ohio State. Justin Fields is also 100% committed to playing this year, so we'll be seeing one of the best quarterbacks in college football lacing them up. But we got lacing them up this week in San Francisco at TPC Harding Park for the PGA Championship. Round 2 is currently underway due to the time change, so we got some prime time golf, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love it. If I so quickly pull up the leaderboard, we have the leader right now. It's Dustin Johnson at -9.
Wow.
Great story. Hao Tung Lee started the day off as your round 2 leader. He is currently 2 over through 14. As we go to my picks from last week, my top 3 that you need to watch out for: Ricky Fowler did not have the showing I thought he was going to have. He missed the cut. Matthew Wolf, the ever so beautiful swing in Matthew Wolf. I don't know how he gets the ball straight. He's got that wicked leg kick. But he's turning some heads this week. But he's sliding down the leaderboard a little bit. I believe he's at -2, but hopefully he can make a comeback. Oh, -5, excuse me. Regained his mojo, so he is only 4 back off the lead going into the final round. And Bryson DeChambeau is -6, 3 back of Dustin Johnson. So they're all in the mix. They're inside the top 10. Would be good if you picked them in DraftKings. But DeChambeau, to end off the day, made a 95-foot putt.
Disgusting.
Sportsgasm.
That's
But his
just
stroke is
disgusting.
so weird. It's so stiff, man. Like, oh, I don't get it. Pipes at 340 yards every time, and he putts like he's got a dick up his ass. Like, seriously, I don't understand.
Jeez.
But for November, there'll be no spectators expected for the Masters tournament. I think it's great. I'm not missing the spectators at golf. It
Oh,
suits me
neither am
very
I.
nicely.
I'm
It's
not
great.
watching. So.
You hear the banter in between with your caddy and player, so it's a different experience.
Yeah.
And as well, another guy that is in the hunt, your 2-time defending PGA champion, Brooks Koepka, is confident that he can make a three-peat, saying TPC Harding Park is, quote, a big boy golf course. This is due to the absolute monstrous par fours that they're having these PGA players play. Like, you have par fours that are par 5. There's, like, par fours that are 460, 470,
Jeez.
450, 480. It's kind of unfair. But, like, you have these guys like Koepka and DeChambeau that's piping the ball 340 yards. I think you have to make it a little tougher on these guys. But it should be a great finish. Like, you're going to have PGA finishing off. Without further ado, enjoy your Sunday, everybody, because it's going to be a jam-packed Sunday night in sports. And we'll sign off until Fantasy Friday. In 6 days, it's Jacob Murchison.
And Money Malcolm.
This episode of Unfinished Business is presented by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
And it is everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.